The Digital Divide, Week 3, by Anna, Katie, and Michelle. The article, Rethinking the Digital Divide, by Bill Thompson of the BBC in January of 2006, states how we should begin to bridge the technological gap between ethnicities and socioeconomic classes. Generally, many people feel they can solve this problem by simply distributing computers. However, due to funds and resources, this is not always an answer. Without internet access, owning a computer is of little worth. Additionally, without the funds to afford the power to run the computer, it becomes an expensive paperweight. In 1991, the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, or NTIA, stated that the nation was divided. The NTIA later stated in 2001 that America was a nation online. On the contrary, there are many statistics to show that this is not true. The purpose of this study was to examine factors that influence the rate of use of computer and internet outside of school by elementary and secondary school-age children, or after-school use. Outside of school use is defined as any use of the computer or internet access other than use at school during school hours. Income plays a big role in determining computer usage. Households with an income of $50,000 or more were 3 times more likely to be connected to the internet than households with an income of less than $15,000. Race and ethnicity affect internet use too. 65% of whites use the internet, while only 45.6% of blacks and 37.2% of Hispanics use the internet. Access to fast internet is dependent on where one lives in a metro or rural area. Only 23.5% of rural internet users have high-speed internet access, compared to 39.8% of urban users and 40.2% of central city users. This also corresponds to different areas of the country depending on the population of the area. From 2001 to 2003, high-speed connections doubled. This constitutes 20% of American households. However, most of these new high-speed connections came in households that were previously connected to the internet. Only 15.5% of Americans with less than a high school education use the internet, while 44.5% with at least a high school diploma or GED did use it. Over 84.9% of those with college degrees use the internet. Those with a lower education and who generate a lower income most likely have an occupation that does not require computer and internet use and are less likely to have a computer at home. In 2002, the NTIA reported computer usage in kindergarten through 12th grade nearing 90%. The National Center for Education Statistics, the NCES, reported that by the fall of 2002, 99% of public schools had internet access, with 92% of their classrooms having access to the internet. Studies have shown that computer use in the classroom is directly related to higher test scores. However, the computer-to-student ratio in most classrooms is still too high. While money is being put towards increasing technology in the classroom, many teachers are still unable to use the internet. The lack of training is prohibiting the full use of technology available to students, teachers, and administration. The NCES found that 85% of young public school children with home computer access used it for educational purposes. Also, students with higher socioeconomic status were more likely to use a home computer, and families with lower incomes and those who do not have a computer access were more likely to attend school without internet. A census showed that 77% of whites have a home computer, while only 41% of blacks and Hispanics have one in the home. This means white students are almost twice as likely to use a home computer for schoolwork than blacks or Hispanics. At higher levels of income and education, there are minimal ethnic or racial differences in internet access or computer ownership. One would hope that the divide would disappear if universal access was available for families at all income levels. However, social reinforcement for computer and internet use may not be the same for different levels of income. In conclusion, the study showed that there are two different types of users. There is a very high probability user who is a white female who lives in the Northeast in a household with an income of over $75,000. In addition, adults in this student's household hold a graduate degree, use a computer at work, and work in an industry where 80% of workers use a computer. Finally, this student also uses a computer at school. In contrast, the very low probability user is a black male student living in the South in a household with $15,000 income, containing no adults with more than a high school education, and no one who uses a computer at work or works in an industry where computers are used. In addition, this student does not use a computer at school. Works cited.